Today is Thursday, August 7th, 2025, and it is Yom Chamishi, 5th day of the week, the 13th day of Av, or Menachem Av, and 5785, Parshat Vaetchanan. This is the PL-89 lunar, solar, Daf Yomi, Mercury, Quantum, Gematriatic Thought Calendar. PL-89 Mercury Quantum Gematriatic Thought Calendar. V'nomar Amen. I'm just kidding. And so it's going to be, God willing, 13 pretty soon. This Elul, 13 years ago is when I started doing this. And now I have been presenting it on the daily. It's a Gematriatic thought calendar which seeks to, it's basically, if you just look up theory of everything, many different theoretical physicists or different scientists or mathematicians, quantum physicists have what they call a theory of everything. And I think the best way of describing this, what comes to mind if you look up Stephen Wolfram, he has something called the rule yard, and I was intrigued by that idea. It's his contribution of something like that. The rule yard is like the vast reality of all possible calculations or computations, and it's how far anyone can go in any type of calculation. I think if I understood it correctly, I think that's what the rule yard is. And so he had that's his contribution to a theory of everything. And I think you could say that this is a theory of everything in line with that. If you want to get an idea, I think looking up Stephen Wolfram, he has a very interesting combination of like computer science and logic and maybe metaphysics. Not so much, it's more like, computer science, mathematics, logic, and maybe a little bit of metaphysics in there, but basically that's what this is. This is my version of that. If you want to get some comparison, just look up Stephen Wolfram rule yard, and so I kind of inspired by that. But anyway, this is a lunar solar Daf Yomi Gematriatic calendar. I'll tell you what that means in a moment. It's based on the planet Mercury. The Mercury, according to published data, orbits the Sun every 87.9691 whatever days, which is basically 3 months. 3 months is a significant period of time based on a passage, based on a verse actually. It's the whole passage, but the specific verse in the book of Exodus, when Pharaoh issued the edict to kill the baby boys, Moses' mother hid him for 3 months. It says, the verse says, "Vatitzpenehu shlosha yirachim." That means she hid him for 3 months. That's what this is, 3 months. Now, you're looking at 80 days, because 8 times 10 is 80, but under here is not theoretical, it's an actual, invisible 10-day period. I call it the 10-day twilight period. Now, in this calendar, you might be asking, what's the purpose of it? The purpose of it is to calculate gematrias and to mine data. Basically, it's a data mining tool, and it has actually a variety of purposes. And you can just use it as a solar calendar. You could say today is August 7th, so I'm in box 19, and you need go no further. I don't think people would have much use for that, because they would say, why am I saying today is 19? What do I need a 19 today for? And the other advantage is that it's also Hebrew calendar. So you go, today's the 13th day of Av, so now I am on box 30. What in the world am I going to do with the 30? It doesn't mean anything to me. Well, that's if you don't really... if you're not gematriatically inclined, then maybe not. But anyway, some of the purposes are just to calculate gematria. See, is there an order to all of this? Is there an order? Like I said before, it's my theory of everything, making sense of things based on biblical. It's like, okay, it's my theory of everything based on biblical and Talmudic content and principles and thinking. So, if we are in the month of August and Av, because it's lunar and solar, it's also Julian calendar, which is 13 days behind. It's taking that into consideration. It's also Daf Yomi calendar. So today's Daf Yomi is Avodah, I forgot to announce. Today's Daf Yomi is Avodah Zarah 50, and it's August 7th, and it's Av 13, and the Julian calendar is somewhere in the 10-day twilight period. So I'll start counting, God willing, when we get to tomorrow, which will be the 14th. Then you can start here. 14, it's like a plus 13. Like it's gematriatic because all of the thoughts and principles are based on gematria. Like, if you know, I mean, most people who study gematria will know very well that ahava is 13 and echad is 13. Ahava means love, and echad is 1. It's also equals to 13. So the idea is that when you love something, you seek to unify with it, to unite with it. You become one with it. And so that idea translates into this calendar, into, let's say, the Julian calendar, and it is factually this way that there's a drift, but it loses a few minutes each year, but I think since 1901, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 1915, I don't remember, until the year 2099, it's going to be, after that, it's going to lose more. But it's going to be 13 days behind. So if today is August 7th, so it'd be like July 25th or something, around there. 26th, around that area. 27th. So it was 13 days. Anyway, 13 days ago, that's where the Julian calendar is. So this is supposed to do that. But because 13, if you unify, you're unifying with it. You're coming one with it. So you add 13, you add ahava, and you become one. That's the idea. See, that you use gematriatic principles to explain things. Now, today on the Gregorian calendar, it's August 7th. That would put us at box 19. Okay, 19. The rule of 40. 40 is goel. In Hebrew, gimel, aleph, gimel, vav, aleph, lamed is equal to 40. And I gave a big example on last video. Unfortunately, I erased it, so I'll just go quickly this time. Goel equals redeemer, and 40 is the number. It's like the measuring line, or the plumb line, or the mediation line of demarcation. I'm not sure what to call it yet, but it's the number that keeps it in order. What that means is that if you add 8 plus 9, 8 plus 9, that's the sequence, that's how you add it, based on another verse. I'll explain a different time. You stop at 40, and then it resets. 40 is like that number that sort of holds things in place. And there's a reason for that. Goel, Redeemer, equals 40. And Moses, we talked about the 3 months. And Moses is the first Redeemer of Israel. And so that rule of 40 makes any box here, it redeems the number into the next phase. To explain that with an example, let's say I'm 19 years old. I'm using the example because this is box 19 here, okay? 19. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I counted Parshas Bahar, which is what this is based on, the Torah portion of Bahar, which is in Leviticus chapter 25 through, I think it's just 25. 26 is already Bechil Kosai. Yeah. The word goel, or a variant of it, geula or goalo or geulato, or I think there's 19 times. So it's interesting that I'm using this box 19. See, and there's another gematriatic reference. But anyway, let's say I'm 19 years old, right? And I'm walking down the road, and I come to a place. It's like I see a big sign, and it says, "No one in here is allowed to come in unless you're 819 years old. So I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble. I'm only 19. And it's like I'm left out in the cold. I can't pass. I can't go where I need to go. You could say like I'm unredeemed in a way. And so like I don't know what to do. So then 40 comes along because 40 equals Goel, right? Gimel is 3, Vav is 6, Aleph is 1, Lamed is 30. Add that together. Makes 40. 3 plus 6 plus 1 plus 30. So the rule it's called the rule or the Goel. That's one of the extensions of the Goel, that it holds this whole thing in line because it keeps everything in order. But it also allows you to enter that new city, because if I, like I said in my example, I get to the city and I see only age 819 and older can come in here. So the Goel redeems me because it makes me from 19, and I just add 40, then I'll become 819. And it works that way for any number. So if you pick any number, let's say 3, you can be, say you got 203, it could be 903. But it's any number, because whether any number that's here, from 1 through 40, and each one goes up ad infinitum. So it covers every whole number. So like, let's say I'm 19, right? Today, it's box 19. And I get to the fork in the road and it says only 819. The Goel comes. Okay, you're redeemed. You can come in. Because just use the Goel. What's the Goel? 819 plus 40 is 59, is 99, is 139, is 179, 379, 579. 779 plus 40 is 819. So now I'm 819 because of the Goel. I can come in. Anyway, I think I spent a little bit of time on that, but basically, if that's the case, what does that have to do today? All right, today is the 7th of August, so we're 19, but it's also the 13th of Av, which puts us on 30. Okay, it could be any number. It can be like a credit card number, an invoice, any number that you see, and it happened to you on that day. It takes you in here. It takes you in here, and here it takes you into each box, and the box tells you what that means. So today I came across a phone number, and the first 3 digits was 696. So if you would see the number 696, what would you say? You'd say, whatever, thank you very much, just whatever I need to call, just dial it. No, when I see 696, or if you're gematriatically inclined, you'd say, no, I'm not happy just dialing a number. I need to know what 696 means. So one thing it can mean is Shimshon, Samson. Why? Because Shimshon equals 696 in regular Hebrew gematria. So what? I'm still stuck. So now Samson, okay, he beat up a bunch of Philistines with a donkey bone, and he killed a lot of Philistines by crashing it down the place after he was caught. He was blinded. He had long hair, and his wife betrayed him. Now what? I mean, what do you do with that? Here's where the gematria comes in. 696. Okay. There's a story with Samson when he was in some kind of a wedding feast. Okay, I should let you know that also, because we're in Av 13, we're in box 30. Okay, it's a lunar and solar calendar. So 13, 19, and 30. So 19 becomes 59, right? Because of the Goel. If I'm stuck at 19, I need the Goel, I can become 59. What's 59? 59 is the word Bigadim. Bigadim equals 59. It's like also Achim, brothers. Achim, Bigadim. Okay? Clothing. So now, okay, we have Samson, clothing. So what does it have to do with anything? There's a story, and it helps. That's why it's based on the Bible, it helps to know the stories of the Tanakh and the gematrias of the words. But here we go. There was a story where Samson said to them, "Let me ask you a riddle, and if you can tell me within 7 days of feasting and you guess it, I will give you 30 linen sheets and 30 suits of clothing." Okay? But if you cannot tell me, then you will have to give me 30 linens and 30 suits of clothing. And asked the riddle, and his riddle was, "From the eater came out food, from the strong came out sweetness." And they couldn't tell the riddle for 3 days. So in Hebrew, first of all, shloshim is 30. But guess what? We're on box 30. That's today. So I already have a connection between the phone number, which is Shimshon, and today's box, 30. Because 30, in the verse itself, I didn't even have to use coding for that. It's just 30 and 30. Okay, that's coincidence. You can say that's a great coincidence. But 30, but by the rule of the Goel, is 770, right? Or is it? Let's see here. 30 and 40 is 70. 30 and 40 is 70. 110, 150, 190. Alright, there's other methods of doing it, but basically, if you're 30, it wouldn't be 770, it would be 870. So just say the 30, okay? Forget the 770 part. But the clothing is there at 59, is begadim, and 30 is 70, and 70 is Henry, and Henry has to do a Thursday because Henry oftentimes happens on Thursday, and I mean, you could say, I think we'll just leave it there for now. Oh yeah, right. Did I mention Wolfram? Stephen Wolfram? Yeah, I think I did. Okay.